Hello. For those of you that thought I fell off the face of the earth, I didn't. I was struggling a little bit with coming back and making a video. I first and foremost, want to say thank you to those of you that reached out to me after the last video where I talked about being an ally, and saw that I was clearly upset, that I was very emotional, that I wasn't feeling supported, and you offered me that, and the texts and emails, the couple of phone calls that I received, and one beautiful handmade card honestly meant the world to me. And I know I came across extremely emotional, and I felt more betrayed without getting too far into it. I was struggling. And I want to make it clear, I was never ever struggling with my faith. I was struggling with how this particular stance was being portrayed to other people. But that's done. And I've left the video up, despite times that I have hovered between making it private and not. It's there. Present Meredith, want to talk about what's coming up. So the next couple of videos you're going to see from me are going to be unboxings. And I think one is a FabFitFun, and the next one is a Cause box, a C-A-U-S-E. And I'm so late to the game on these, and you'll see why in a moment. But I decided to go ahead and do them, but those will probably be the last unboxings, openings, revealings, anything like that, as far as like a procured subscription. Most of the time with these, when I signed up, I went ahead and took advantage of the full year because you got a pretty decent discount, and that has now ended. I have ended my subscriptions to everything that's auto-delivered, with the exception of razor refills. And most would argue that's a necessity. What I'm doing right now is I have started this journey for myself and my peace of mind and things like that, of trying to condense and simplify, and some people would even say minimalize my things. And 2020 has been a roller coaster for so many people. And for me, on a personal level, as somebody who has to be extra cautious, and for so long didn't go, just even like outside to take a walk or things like that, I still am very antsy around groups. I still am very fearful. But my oldest son went through it. I saw exactly the toll that this can take, and he's young and healthy, and if it did that to him, what's it going to do to me, things like that. I realized the things that are important to me, and those are not things. So I long time ago had read The Minimalist Home by Joshua Becker. I think I was even in the Facebook group at one point, and just kind of, oh, that's not us. The kids were still in the house at that point, and you gotta have the things for the kids, and seasons of life change, things like that, attitudes change, and all it really takes is a car crashing into your living room and almost killing you for you to realize that the important things are not the things. So I have reread that book. I've also read a couple of other books, and listened to a couple of podcasts pretty consistently over the last couple months, and sort of have this like hybrid sort of approach to how I'm doing it. And I think most people would call it the onion method, where like you go around and You get rid of the obvious stuff, the stuff that has a layer of dust on it because you haven't used it, or the clothing that is in such bad shape you can't even donate it, and things like that. And I think I'm like on my third level. Yesterday was clothing, and I have to give major props to my oldest son who came over, and I did a worksheet from one of the books, and I don't know why this realization had never come to me before, but I was paring down my wardrobe. I didn't necessarily want to have what they call a capsule wardrobe, but I also didn't necessarily want to have as many clothes as I did. I wanted to be able to shut my dresser drawer. And I realized that my work clothing, where I would go into the office, and my church clothing, where I would be going to service or teaching or reading or things like that, are kind of one and the same. And then on the other side of that, there's my work from home clothing, my exercise clothing, and the church clothing that I would wear if I was working with the middle school group. For instance, if I was going on a retreat, or we've been having bonfires, things like that. So there's two categories, right? Like casual and formal, but not formal. So we get through it, and he's being hard on his poor mom, but he had to be, and that's why I asked him to come over and do it, because I knew he would be. And he doesn't care if I get mad at him anymore. So he's just, I can't ground him. I can't. So he's like, Mom, this says 5 t-shirts and you have 6. And anybody who knows me knows I love my graphic tees. I'm all about getting a free t-shirt if I can volunteer. It's kind of a family joke, but I'm, moving on from that. It's become more and more obvious to me that I was making up for something, and I don't know what. I have literally hundreds of dollars worth of makeup sitting completely unused in my makeup case. And there's some people, because I have had a bit of a struggle working from home and staying focused. There's some people that say, get up, get dressed like you were going to the office, put on your makeup, do all of this. That's not me. No shade to the people that do. If it makes you feel more productive, more professional, whatever, that's, you do what works for you. My main reason for ever putting on makeup was for other people, not to scare them. But I realized I was like getting makeup as soon as it released, and I was buying tons of like costume jewelry and hanging it up, and it looked pretty. And my biggest downfall, office supplies and stationery and pretty cards, journals, notebooks, pens in every color you could imagine, notebooks. I had 15 pairs of decorative scissors, notebooks. You get the idea. So there was clearly a problem that I was making up for. And I think that's what I was doing with my eating as well. So I have pared down all of that, donated everything that I could. I went through one of the old journals, and literally there was not one mark in it except for the very middle, and that was where Nathan had drawn something, I have to say, at least 10 years ago. And every part of me was like, oh, well, you need to keep it. You need to keep it. And no, you don't. My life is not the things around me. My life is the people around me and me, what I'm feeling and thinking. So we went through the wardrobe. Travis was pretty hard. I got to the back of the very, very back, and I pared everything down really well and felt good about the things that I kept. And there was one lone skirt hanging way back in the closet, and I pulled it out and realized that this skirt should have been like gone in my first 25 pounds that I lost. And like, Travis said, I can see why you kept that. It helps you see how far you've come, but also, why are you keeping that? Is it like an encased thing? And I thought about it, and I think part of me was like, yeah, you know, I want this skirt that I can look at and see that, wow, I barely fit into that skirt 100 pounds ago, 97 pounds ago. I 3 more pounds. I'm not going to claim pounds that I haven't lost, but, and I could barely zip up the back. But then another part of me is like, wow, that makes me super sad. Why do I have this if I'm so sad? If when I look at it, it's not making me feel proud. It's making me sad and mad at myself. So I think that was like a huge, huge aha moment for me. And it's only going to get better. I mean, like, I can walk into my office now and like see the shelves where I've gotten rid of the journals, the books, all of that stuff. I can go to put away laundry, and I actually have the ability to close my dresser drawers. The entire thing to me is a journey, and it will be an ongoing journey. And I may or may not document it here just for, you know, my own memories or whatever. All of this to say that the next couple videos are going to be very anti what I just said. But I have made the commitment and reached out to a couple of people already that whatever I don't see myself able to use right away, I'm going to be passing along. And that includes the boxes, because I used to hang on to these boxes thinking, oh, this will be great for storage and things like that. And no, they might be cute, they might be whatever, but that's not how it works. So yeah, that's where I am, and that's where we are. And so far I have donated, I think we're up to 15 of the large garbage bags full of things, and that's household items, clothing, towels, things like that, and thrown away because they couldn't be used anymore. I think it's 18. I might have those crisscrossed bags of stuff like household items that couldn't be used anymore, Tupperware with no lids. Can't even tell you how many of those I have. Things like that. You know, a couple of boxes from seasonal subscriptions that, you know, should have been recycled a year and a half ago. So that's where we are. That's where I am. Dave's is his own journey. He is already minimalistic. So, you know, it is where we're going, where I am, and how I'm going to continue. And yeah, maybe someday we'll be ready to move into a tiny home. I don't know. I don't think so, but that's where we are. Wanted to remember to say thank you to everybody so much for caring about me and loving us, and just, you know, 2020 has been a beast, but that doesn't mean I have to live that way. So with that said, please do remember to be kind to one another. And I hope everyone's doing well, and I will definitely see you next time. Bye.